What up, YouTube? Timmy's here. With the new Pokemon film, Pokemon Secrets of the Jungle, out now on Netflix, I'm actually going to be doing my reviews for the Pokemon films. Starting with the one that really started off, and that is, of course, Pokemon the movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, which premiered all the way back on November 10th, 1999. And come on, what's more to love? This is definitely a childhood favorite of mine. Of course, I grew up, watching Pokemon, and of course, like in the '90s, Pokemon became very popular in the mainslide. So obviously, they decided to go ahead and during the mix of doing the shows, they decided to go ahead and do an actual Pokemon movie, and it of course turned out to be Pokemon the first movie. Uh, and of course, you guys remember the Pokemon short that was in front of it, Pokemon Pikachu's Vacation, where like the Pokemon of Ash, Misty, and Brock are pretty much essentially spend a day at a theme park built for Pokemon. And so like Pokemon Togepi, Bulbasaur, and Squirrel cross pack with other group of bullies constantly, such as the likes of Raichu, Cubone, Mero, and Snubbull. And pretty much the group also compete against each other in like the sport here, but it's also leads Ash's Charizard to get a head stuck in a pipe. And so like, yeah, I mean that was pretty cool to watch. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Pokemon of the episode where like Pikachu in the game, or where Pikachu and Ash's other Pokemon in the Island of Giant Pokemon, where the Pokemon ends up being separated, but this time they're not actually separated or anything like that. But anyway, then we of course get to Mewtwo Strikes Back. Now it's where like of course in the beginning it's where Science Dr. Fuji, who is I always keep forgetting that Dr. Fuji was actually in the Pokemon anime stuff. Because I always remember him like in the games and all, so it was pretty cool seeing him actually be a character in the canon here. And so of course Dr. Fuji is hired by Giovanni, who of course is the leader of Team Rocket, to like utilize his like expertise in cloning in order to create the living weapon, which is of course which is actually based on an eyelash from mythical Pokemon Mew. And of course he creates a clone of it, and the name is of course Mewtwo, which of course before Pokemon first movie we did actually saw Mewtwo a bit in the anime. Remember when Gary went to the Viridian City Gym and faced off against Giovanni, and he of course brought out Mewtwo, which I bet lots of people had no idea who that thing was. And so yeah. So of course, Mewtwo pretty much sends out like an invitation to loads of other Pokemon trainers to so he could pretty much make clones of other people's Pokemons here. And so yeah, and it's where like Ash, Misty, and Brock ends up all being escorted to an island passed by the woman who appeared on the hologram, and Ash and the other trainers who are able to reach the island encounter Mewtwo. And the woman even is revealed to be a brainwashed Nurse Joy after she is and she ends up being released from Mewtwo's mind control. And Mewtwo also challenges the trainers using clone Pokemon consensually modeled after their deceased friends from his childhood. And so Team Rocket has also reached the island and explored its like inner sanctum with this with of course Mew following them. And so Mew of course pretty much and here he ends up using these like Pokeballs to capture everyone's Pokemon and make out clones out of them. Then of course we know you guys know how it ends up happening. The clones and the good Pokemon ends up fighting against one another. And for some reason Ash thought it was a good idea to actually punch Mewtwo, and he becomes a clone. So we all know how that scene plays out. Anyway, I gotta say, Pokemon the first movie has always had a place in my heart. I used to always get a kick out of this one. It had a really cool soundtrack as well. The film is very humorous. It like you're definitely gonna need some tissues while you watch it, especially because when Pikachu uses tears to pretty much help Ash pretty much bring Ash up to life. Because yeah, it's hard to believe that Ash pretty much died with us. Yeah, and if it wasn't for the tears, we probably wouldn't be having Ash up in the future. Of course, there is a fun Pokemon battle scene that happens at the beginning as well, which it was pretty, which I always thought was a pretty fun one there. Uh, and of course, Mewtwo is pretty much one of the most coolest Pokemon villains of all time. Of course, we saw Mewtwo in live action form with Detective Pikachu, which I thought was really cool too. But anyway, now of course, Pokemon the first movie is very popular among fans. Not really popular with critics though. When it got released, it actually, believe it or not, it has a 60% Rotten Tomatoes from critics, but a 63 audience score. Proves that's more that's more on par with the fans than it is with the critics. But still, I still always thought this movie was so cool. Had a really awesome soundtrack and inspiring message here. It's so fun. It's entertaining. It really holds a place in my heart here. The battles, I always thought was really cool here as well. We end up getting loads of cool, Pokemon stuff in this. We get Gyarados here. We get a Donphan is even featured in this. Of course, the moments between the real Meowth and the clone Meowth was really cool as well. I thought that was really decent. Two Pikachu's battling was cool. This movie definitely holds a place in my heart. It's always been one of my favorite childhood faves. I used to watch this thing as a kid tons of times, and I thought the Mewtwo Strikes Back evolution was decent, but it doesn't. It's the same thing, but still, it's not as good as the original. Nothing could beat the original. So, yeah, I remember I literally saw this thing in theaters when I was a kid. I became, of course, a hardcore Pokemon fan since, and Pokemon the first movie will always be one of the best. So, yeah, this thing pretty much came out in the year 1999, and it still holds up. It's still fave among loads of Pokemon fans. So, yeah, if you guys have never really seen Pokemon the first movie by now, I'm not really sure we can find it nowadays. You can probably find it maybe on HBO Max or something, or maybe Netflix. You can find it on Apple TV. Give it a go. It's a great one. Anyway, let me leave you guys. What are your thoughts on Pokemon the first movie? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Favorite moments? Favorite scenes? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Simu signing off.